This starts part 2 of our heavy-duty roof install. Previously we got the low slope done. Now we're going to be working ourselves up a 5 and 12 pitch. Still a simple flat roof, no valleys. It's going to be pretty easy, but we're going to start with flashing. We have to put gable flashing on our low slope, and we have to do a transition flashing. Once we get it all flashed out, we can start the roof panels. This is our gable flashing, and I'll show you where it goes. It just goes on the edge of the roof to seal off the fascia side and the roof. So we're at the edge of the roof. I have my gable trim cut, and I pre-drilled it every 16 inches. I also pre-drilled the roofing panels. I want my screws to go through cleanly and securely. I was able to pre-drill this in place just by lifting up this edge, putting a block of wood under the panel so I could drill through it and not hit my decking. That's how I got that done. We're going to be putting our tacky tape seal on the bottom of this. Ooh, something's working.
Yeah. Well, it seems pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Now we have to do the same thing on the other end of the roof. This might look bad, I don't know if you can see it. It's just dirty. It'll wash off with the rain. We're installing enclosure strips on the top of this metal because we're going to have a transition flashing coming down. So we're just going to make sure it's sealed up. Fresh. So I'm going to get this lined up where it belongs, and then we're going to mark on each rib, and then we're going to pre-drill each rib, and then we're going to screw it down. So the sun is going down. I don't have much time, but I wanted to show you guys the progress. We've been kind of working behind the scenes, just trying to get this roof wrapped up, and we didn't get to any panels today, but we got our gable trim fastened, and we got all of our transition trim in place. Right now I'm just going through and putting flashing tape at the top of it. So this is actually nailed down with the roofing nails and then flashing tape over the top. That seals the nails, but it also seals from water coming down the roof. If it should ever come down the roof, it won't get under there. So that's what I've been working on. But this is looking pretty good. All buttoned up. And I'm ready to go in. So I'm going to clean up my mess and we'll worry about this roof another day. So what we're doing is pre-drilling the holes in the metal for the screws to go through. And in laying out this metal, we realized that we made a mistake when ordering. So here's the metal for the next section. So this metal is 150 inches long. I ordered it based on the length of the roof. But what I wasn't calculating, and I didn't know what it was going to be, was the transition. Where the roofs transition from the low to the steeper pitch, there's a piece of flashing that goes here. With that flashing and the spacing of the metal, the metal gets pushed up quite a ways from the valley. So what that did was it made it so that I only need 12 feet of metal instead of, so 144 inches instead of 150. So we're gonna have to cut 6 inches off every one of these panels. It's kind of annoying because it's an extra step, it's extra cutting, and it's extra money we spent on roofing we can't use. But it is what it is. We're gonna get working, cut these down to even 12 feet, and then they should be a quick and easy install.
You could just smear it with your finger quick.
It'll be fine, though.
Okay.
So now I'm going to slide it down and we're going to line it up to the bottom. Then we draw a new line. I'm going to show this one more time. So this is the Makita Nibbler. It's designed for cutting corrugated roofing. It works awesome. It's so quick and it makes a smooth cut. You don't really want to use a grinding wheel cutting this, like a metal cutting disc, because it'll burn the metal and that can leave the edges more prone to rusting and paint failure. So something like this is perfect because it doesn't heat up the metal while it's cutting. We're going to be cutting these one at a time as we bring them up. So since we have our first sheet cut, we used it to mark the next sheet. Now we're going to install it. And then when we come back down, we can cut this one, repeat. It's a cycle. I think it'll work though.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Better move them because we need this sheet now.
Did I think that's too steep?
Does it feel too steep?
Yeah.
Nice.
Push.
It's hard for me to gauge what's going on up there.
I barely have a grip.
Ugh.
That's better.
We just gotta learn our techniques.
You know, they're made for OSB. Man, I've never seen cutting metal so easy. It is the most beautiful, calm day right now. Overcast, not sunny at all. Last night we did a quick run out to the store and picked up a new drill. So let's get this opened up. What happened was my drill is starting to fail me. I have a pretty basic DeWalt drill, but in screwing all those roof screws, it's been getting weaker and weaker, and when it overheats, it stops. The trigger won't engage. It just does nothing. And we have a lot of roofing to do, so we said we better grab a new drill. Pretty nice, comes with 2 batteries. I can use those. This is the one I got. DeWalt brushless Atomic Compact Series. I actually thought this was pretty neat because it was a good price. It's $130, I think. It actually has a hammer function as well as the drilling and all that stuff. So the hammer drill function is something I've never had on a drill before, and you use it primarily drilling through things like concrete, and it'll give it like a hammering while it's drilling, and it'll really make it easy to go through concrete. I've always wanted that, never had it, so I got that little extra feature, and I'm looking forward to using a new drill. Hopefully this can power through the rest of the roof without failing. And I got a new drill bit too, just in case, because we're going to be drilling through a lot of metal doing those holes. That's what I got, in case you wondered. Made in Mexico, it says. You know, there's a thing about, I don't know if I should rant on this, but DeWalt, they make a lot of tools in Mexico, they make a lot of tools made in USA with global components, and it's all pretty much a gimmick. The tools that are made in the USA are actually made in China and assembled in the USA. And the tools that are made in Mexico, similarly, are mostly probably made in China and assembled in Mexico. And it's just a marketing ploy. In my opinion, from what I've understood, like if you buy a made in USA or made in Mexico drill, and then you buy a replacement part for it, you can buy DeWalt parts. The parts always say made in China. The case, the whole plastic case, made in China. Everything's made in China, but they find loopholes. Companies do this often. They find loopholes so that they can put made in USA on it just by saying with global components. So they can make every part of this drill in another country, and they send it to the USA disassembled, and they just have somebody put it together. It's a practice that I don't agree with, personally. Well guys, I wish we had some more progress for you, but we're going to wrap it up now because we ran out of time. We've been working on other projects around the house, you'll see those soon. But the roof is looking pretty good. This officially completes, I don't want to say completes, but it completes the back side of the house. We still have to do gable trim and cleaning it up, and also you might notice lap screws are missing. We need to screw all the laps together where the panels join. The reason we didn't do those is because today was a weird kind of overcast day and the roof just stayed wet and dewy from morning time. and it was so slippery. I was just sliding all over the place, and I didn't feel comfortable doing all the screws up and down all the panels. So we'll wait until it's dry and do it on a warmer day. But it's secure, it's watertight.
It's awesome, and it looks amazing.
Looks really good. This means we're gonna have to switch to the other part of the house next time, and it's gonna be tricky because that's the hard part. We have valleys, weird angles, but we'll figure it out and we'll get it done. So stay tuned for that. I don't think we have anything else to add. It was a pretty basic install, and it went quicker and easier than we ever expected.
Yeah.
So good, that's all good.
The nibbler has been working awesome.
Something that you might have noticed me doing that's new to this video that I didn't do in the first video is I've been oiling the metal before I cut it. I actually read that as a tip in the user manual because it'll make the nibbler work more efficiently and make the blade last longer if there's a little bit of oil in there. It doesn't take much, so I've been oiling the tool and the metal, and it does make a difference because it glides through it like just smooth. Just with that lubrication in there, keeping the blade sharp and smooth, and just, I like that. So a little bit of machine oil on there, a little bit of butter on there.
What?
I don't know. It makes a big difference. Oh, the rust stains. Some of you guys see the rust stains on the roof, and yes, there are rusty panels, but it's just staining. It looks worse than it is. It's because we've had our panels stacked out here for months. You're not supposed to leave metal stacked together, especially white ones like this, because the edges of the metal are cut, and it forms that little bit of rust when they're stacked together because they stay damp and they can't dry out. And so that kind of rusty water sat on the panels and just left orange on them. It could be washed off. I'm sure if we went up there with some rust remover, it'd come right off. It's just cosmetics, so I'm not worried about that.
And it's not a problem once you actually install the metal, because each sheet can dry out.
Every metal roof out there has cut ends that are raw. As long as they're not stacked together, they're fine.
Yeah.
So that's all for real. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
See ya.